thing.
Mhm.
After he explained it, it was like a 3 or 4 day deal. And being in the
Well, it's almost ready.
yeah, seemed to be.
That's it real hard.
I told him it was on you.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the May 28th, 2025 Town of Kildare Hills Board of Commissioners meeting. I call this meeting to order and invite everyone to please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As we enter a moment of silence, I must share that our Kildare Hills family has lost two of its own. Retired Fire Captain Pete Turek served our community with a distinguished career over 2 decades. And former Commissioner and Mayor Duncan Wright has also died. Not only did he serve the town through elected office, he served the community as a dedicated EMT first responder. Although we mourn their passing and extend our sympathies to their families, we also take this moment to celebrate these two originals that made our Outer Banks community what it is today. They will be missed. Please join me in a moment of silence. All right. Our next item of business is our agenda approval. Board, do we have an agenda before us?
Mayor, I move that we approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 We have an agenda. Moving on to public hearing, item number 1. Mr. Sharp, welcome, sir.
Thank you. Glad to be with y'all. So Casey's doing okay. He just is wrapped up in a trial or something, and that's the reason I'm here. He expected to be out, but he wasn't, so called on me, and I'm glad to come see y'all. You ready for me to roll with this?
It's your show, sir. Go
All
ahead.
right. So we're having a public hearing tonight. This relates to proposed zoning amendment 153.121 residential low setbacks and 153.161 residential high setbacks to amend double frontage setbacks for lots 5,000 square feet or less. We'll call the public hearing to order to consider what we just addressed. Anyone interested in speaking needs to come to the podium, share your name and address prior to your comments. Do we have anybody signed up?
Yes.
Is there anybody that wants to come to the public hearing and speak? All right, don't see anybody, any takers on that, so we'll pass it to the board for your.
Meredith, do you mind giving us a quick explanation of
Absolutely.
this update?
The amendment is for double frontage lots. Right now, for lots less than 5,000 square feet, double frontage was set for a front yard setback and then 20% of the depth of the rear. All the other double frontage lots for greater than 5,000 are just simply the front yard setback on both sides. The 20% has become a problem because the setback for 5,000 square foot or less is 15. But if you do 20%, it becomes 20 on the other side, but there's no distinction on which one they choose as their front. So some of them, it just simply didn't make sense. I'm not sure how it got in there. I'm going to say it's pre-Meredith. So we're recommending that we change it to match all the other double frontage lots, that the double frontage is the front yard setback on both sides of the lot when there's a right of way on both sides. Additionally, we are recommending that the double frontage be exempt for those lots that back Harding and Scott Street. They are 30-foot right of ways that run in Martin and Airstrip area, and they are designated to be green space or utilities, not to be paved. They wouldn't open any lots to be paved. Therefore, these people have had this double frontage where they can't even put a shed in their backyard because of Harding and Scott Street. So we're doing the less than 5,000, and we're also exempting lots that abut Harding and Scott from the double frontage requirements. And that's the amendment that's in front of you today. Any questions?
Thank you. Any comments or questions on this? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I have one question. Under low density, item number 5, it talks about single family and duplex dwellings greater than 6,000 square feet, equipped with a fire suppression system. But I didn't see that in the high density. Did I miss it or what?
I'm looking for what you're talking about.
It's item number 5.
Oh.
I saw it in the low density. Is it not in the high density or?
It does not appear to be in the high density. This is setbacks. I'm not
I mean, it should be in both, shouldn't it?
I'm not. If I look at my memorandum, that number's not there. I can't answer that for you right this second.
Okay.
I don't have an answer for you. So I will look into it, and if you would like it to be in both the RL and the RH, we'll bring you back another amendment.
I would think it would be in both.
RH is very, very small.
Do you think it just got switched and?
In my memo, number 4 and 5 are not even there. So I would have to look at the code online. I thought we got this from the code online, so I'm a little bit, I can't answer your question at the moment.
It's the only question I have.
Well, should we consider tabling this until we can?
Oh, it wouldn't change what I'm asking for double frontage, and you couldn't change it now without going through the planning board. So what we'll do is we'll look into it, and if it's not in RH, it will go to the planning board and come back to you for
Okay.
setting a new public hearing.
That's fine with me.
We'll look into the difference in the two, but it's not changing the amendment we have now, and you can't change this amendment because it hasn't been advertised.
Gotcha.
Right, the changes are strike through and then the blues.
Correct.
Do we have any more questions or discussion?
That was the only one I had.
Well, can I ask a question? When you say you made these exceptions for these two streets, I assume you looked at how this affects all of the town, and there are no other streets such like it. Or?
There are other double frontage streets,
Okay.
but they are not set as greenways. They're either already paved or have the potential to be paved. One of the big ones we looked at was Bickett Street.
Okay.
It's paved on the east side and partially paved on the west side and can be paved in the future, which splits Palmetto and Sportsman. And then we looked at the other double frontage, and typically Highview and Apache is paved on both sides. So we looked at all of our double frontage lots to see if this would apply anywhere else.
Is any lot up against Fresh Pond, is that considered double frontage lot?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, Fresh Pond Road,
No, on the backside of it, if you abut Fresh Pond.
the pond, no, that's not a right of way.
Okay.
No. It's only for right of ways.
Okay.
So, and it's only for our papers. It's only for papers. We're looking at double frontage. And the only paper streets we have that are full paper streets are Harding and Scott, and they're not wide enough to pave. They would be a utility or a greenway,
The greenway.
sidewalk,
Okay, I just
something like
understand
that.
Greenway.
They're-
Greenway.
They don't have the ability to be paved. They're not 50 foot wide. We can't fit our small streets.
So what qualifies as a greenway? Just like a.
What it is right now, which is unpaved.
Oh,
It's an
okay.
open space.
Oh, okay. All right. That's all.
Anybody else? I'll open the floor for a motion if someone would like to make that or not. We can figure out what we'd like to do.
I would move that we approve public hearing item number 1, zoning amendment 153.121 residential low setback and 153.161 residential high setbacks, amending the double frontage setbacks and that it's consistent with all of the town's applicable plans and land use plan. That'd be the motion.
We have a second. Do we have any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. All done. Moving on, now is the time we set aside for public comment. This is an opportunity for anyone in the audience to address the board on any topic that they're choosing that pertains to the town. Do ask when you're called upon, approach the podium, speak into the microphone, and identify yourself by name and address. Please keep your comments to 3 minutes if you're speaking on behalf of an individual, or 5 if you're speaking for a group. We'll open it up if anyone would like to participate in our first public comment section. No? All right. No takers. Nothing to respond to. Ongoing business, town manager? Okay, we'll move on to new business. Since I serve as an employee for the Community Care Clinic of Dare, I request to be excused from the upcoming new business item number 1, partnership organizations.
I move to excuse Mayor Winley from the discussion and any action regarding new business item number 1, partnership organizations.
I second the motion.
We have a motion and a second to excuse Mayor Winley from the discussion. Any action regarding new business item 1, partnership organizations. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion approved. Mayor Winley, you're excused.
Thank you. I'll let Debbie lock me out back there.
In the closet you go.
So I'll conduct new business item number 1, and I'm going to pass it over to Debbie since I'm barely talking.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Item number 1, as the mayor indicated, is our partnership organizations. This is something over the years that the town has entered into with various organizations to accomplish missions and provide services for our citizens. Currently, the 4 partnerships, Community Care Clinic of Dare, Interfaith Community Outreach, Nags Head Woods Ecological Reserve, and the Outer Banks Family YMCA. Each year, these organizations receive this partnership money from the town, and they report back to this board the services that they have provided for our citizens. Historically, the funding for these partnerships is in the budget and approved with the budget ordinance. However, as just stated by Mayor Windley, he serves and works with the Community Care Clinic of Dare. Therefore, he has reclused himself from acting on this at all. So what I'm asking you this evening is to please approve these organizations receiving the monies outlined in my budget, in my memo, and then you will see it also in the recommended budget that we're going to be reviewing this evening. So, Madam Mayor Pro Tem, a motion would be in order.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I would move to approve new business item number 1, partnership organizations as outlined in the memo.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? Okay,
Thank you very much.
Send the police after him.
Hardly had time for a snack.
Okay. All good to move on to the next agenda item?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, next item we have is committee reports.
None here.
No?
No, sir.
yeah, Sue, would you mind giving the CAC report? That'd be great.
We're so happy to have you here. We're gonna put you to work then, Sue.
Hi, I'm Sue Kelly, 211 Sea Village Lane, and speaking on behalf of the Community Appearance Commission. We met last week, and this year we have gotten 4 new people appointed for various reasons. We have a great group. I think we're re-energized, and we're doing some things, and always trying to think about what we can do to make our town even more beautiful than it is. But to tell you, first of all, we've ordered some hats. Thank you for the money that you give us every year. And we like to have stuff to hand out to people, and look forward to receiving those hats and showing them to you. We are now in the process of our Appearance Award, which we do every 2 years. So we have begun the process of generating our list of potential nominees. I'm sure most of you know this, but we have a rather good process for determining these places that receive the Appearance Award, which is for the most attractive thing in town that's commercial. This is nothing residential, but businesses, churches, professional businesses are all included and can be included. So we have the Appearance Award. We have the most improved for something that has changed or gotten better. And then we have an award that we give to a business in a strip mall. So we are still generating those names for the award, and it will be the rest of this calendar year pretty much that we'll be working on doing it. We now meet every couple of months, so we're still in the process of coming up with nominees. We also have, through working with Surfrider, we have Sutton Street. That's a street that the Community Appearance Commission has taken to keep the access clean. And I think we ought to deserve an award because we have been out there. They ask that you go 6 times a year, and we'll go at least 6 times a year. Sutton Street looks great. If any of you ever want to show up, our next meeting to do that is June 5th at 5:30 in the afternoon. And we pick up all the trash and, you know, make it look as nice as we can and welcome anybody that wants to participate in doing that. I think the only other thing I have to say is that our next meeting is July 24th. And of course, all are welcome. And I would be more than happy to answer any questions if you have them.
So,
You want to mention receptacles?
Oh, how could I forget that? That's the most important thing. With staff's help, which everything we do is with staff's help. And I just want to say, I didn't get to come after Trash Attack and say thanks. Staff, thank you, thank you, thank you. Trash Attack brings everybody together, just about everybody on the staff. All the divisions are involved one way or another. But anyway, our butt holders at the accesses held up really well. I forget how many years. They were a lot older than most of us realized they were. But by now, a bunch of them were missing. It was really time. So staff brought us a recommendation for this really nice stainless steel thing. I wish I had a picture of it to show you. It is smaller than the blue PVC pipes that we were using for the butt holders. And it's really good looking, and it should last a long time. So not only did we agree to do that, but they've been ordered and they're already up. The staff is so efficient that they've got them already up. Please take a look at them. It's nice to still have that. And we're going to put these in some other places too, probably. But thank you, Michael, because that's very important. I had that on my list. Old brain. Anything else?
Thank you for all you do.
Well,
Sue.
thank you all for letting us do it. So,
Sue, how do people, does it just a committee that nominates for appearance awards, or can people nominate, or?
I think we would welcome any recommendations,
recommendations?
but the official nominating is committee members.
Okay.
So we all come together and make lists, and we find that we have duplicates. So we pick usually 3 or 4 of the top ones that the group nominated, and they become the ones that we go out with we go look, and we have a whole process for doing it, all the things we identify. It's strictly the exterior of these buildings, nothing interior. But you think of something related to a building, from how it stores their garbage to how you get in and out. Landscaping is a big deal, of course, but we have those and we work through all of those, and then we'll come back together and vote. So it is something that the committee does on its own, but yeah, we would welcome any suggestions, particularly in the area of changes, the one, most improved, and also the ones in the build, whatever's in the strip mall that we, are going to review. They're really hard. Those folks don't have very much frontage. There's not a whole lot they can do, but we do give an award for that. And we're also going to make every effort we can to get the winners to the meeting where we hand out the awards
Excellent.
and the honorable mentions. Everybody who ultimately gets nominated, one will be the winner, and everybody else will get a certificate of appreciation and honorable mention.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
Sue.
you, Sue.
Thank you.
And
Like
really
this.
big thanks to Parker too, because Parker,
Oh, yeah.
over the last month, she's put a lot of stuff together. Not last minute, but kind of under a time crunch. So thank you, Parker.
We couldn't do anything that we do without Parker.
Yeah.
And she's doing something now that's really, really helpful. And that is that after our meeting, she sends us a summary of what we did. And that's really helpful. But we couldn't do anything we do without staff.
Yeah.
And Parker and Michael as well are our key people for this commission. And they're wonderful.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you, Sue.
Do we have anything else tonight under committee reports? All right, hearing none, I'll move over to mayor's agenda. Wrightsville Boulevard, if you've not had a chance to drive down Wrightsville Boulevard, you're missing something special. This project is just about complete. I think that the long-term plans for this drainage and paving infrastructure project was initially conceived back in 2006, 2007, and our community is benefiting from these investments. I would like to express our appreciation to our town engineer, town staff, and amazing vendors who made this project a reality. Thank you very much.
Looks good.
And high school and college graduates, it is graduation season, and the town of Kill Hills extends its congratulations to all the high school, college graduates, and their families, and recent preschool grads, and all of their achievements accomplished in local schools, and all those who have gone to college, professional trade schools. We are very thankful for each and every one of you. I'm excited because I got an 8th grader and a kindergarten graduation to attend
All right.
next week. So it's definitely graduation season.
Eighth,
He's got a big
eighth in
one.
high school.
8th in high school. So
Okay.
Everybody else?
yeah, a lot of Dare County school stakeholders right here.
Yeah.
But
Well, grandkids graduate too.
that's right.
Yeah. Okay, that is it.
All right. Moving on, town manager's agenda. Oh, commissioner's agenda. Getting ahead of myself. Sorry about that. Anything?
I don't have anything pressing, but I do want to bring to the board's attention that I am going to personally, and I obviously would want the support of everybody, try to drum up some interest and discussion again about opening Fresh Pond up to the public. I know we talked about it years ago and, kind of died out. We had both mayors at the time, Nags Head mayor and Kilo Hills mayor, interested in it as well. And, I know that's a thing, of course, because the border of the towns run right through the pond. But just talking to people and people bringing to me again about, the shame that it is that it's locked out, and I've felt this way since the beginning. I think I even kind of ran on it my first run. And I feel like I just need to personally do something more about it. So I'm going to try to drum up some interest in the community and bring it forward if I can, best I can, again to the forefront. So I just wanted to warn everybody, I guess, that was the case, and hope everybody is still interested in it as they, some of us were, and I think most of us were. But yeah, I just think it's a shame. I see it all the time and just shake my head. It'd be like having a fence around Nags Head Woods, as I always say, and not being able to enjoy it. This unique spot on the Outer Banks, so very unique to any peninsula having a freshwater pond that size in it. So
Great. I think it's time to look at that again.
there's obstacles, I
Yeah.
know, but yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Anything else for commissioner's agenda this evening?
Nothing for me, sir.
Nothing here.
All right. Well, I got back up. Now I'll move forward again. Town manager's agenda.
No, sir, thank you.
Town attorney. All right, let's get to work on the next item, general work session, town manager's recommended budget for fiscal year 2025, Oh, I'm consent agenda.
That I got.
I'm playing
Okay.
leapfrog with the agenda tonight, consent agenda. All right.
Okay, yes, sir. Minutes from the May 12th, 2025 Board of Commissioners meeting. The resolution in opposition of proposed increase in insurance premiums for Department of Instruction state employees. This was through consensus from the last meeting, and a copy of that is here for your review, and that was sent on. I think Parker did receive some correspondence back from our representative that was positive. Number 3 is the last of our partnership organizational annual report. This is the Community Care Clinic of Dare and Interfaith Community Outreach. Staff recommends approval of the consent agenda as presented, and a motion would be in order.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All right, here, none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And
All right,
Mayor,
I'm so,
If we could please have a brief recess so we could do some reorganization of bodies.
sure.
Okay.
Well, it's a tap of the gavel. All right, the meeting is in recess.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for-
They want to reorganize.
Just real quick,
We call our meeting back to order, and we can begin our general work session for next year's budget.
Yes.
Town Manager, I'll turn it over to
Thank
you.
you. Thank you very much. We've had some conversations with some of our board members. We appreciate that. Hope you all had some time to digest it. I know it's a lot of information, a lot of pages. But I really compliment Angel and her department on our new format that we began using this current fiscal year. I think it's much easier to read. There's a lot of good information without being too much. So really like that a lot. Mayor, if you'd like, we can just do a general review of the revenues. I'll ask Angel to do that, and then we can get into the individual departments within the administration department. I mean within the general fund.
All right, let's go.
So if we'll
So revenues, we can go to tab 4. Our recommended townwide ad valorem tax rate is 28 cents per $100 of valuation. We would recommend the revenue neutral tax rate of 16.38 cents per $100 valuation for the MSD. Our state and local sales taxes, occupancy taxes, and land transfer, we are budgeting to remain flat. And the slight decrease that you see would be because of the drop in our levy share percentage. Our PAL bill distribution is estimated to increase 10% over what we budgeted for the 24-25 year. General sales tax on electricity is estimated to increase 5% over our 24-25 estimated actuals. And then you'll see that water fund administrative cost allocation that we do based on a ratio formula applied to the shared cost.
So if you have any questions on any of the particular revenue lines, I'd be happy to address those. Pointing out the importance again of the shared revenues and the levies. That is one of our goals of this budget and this proposed tax rate is to maintain sound footing with our levies. Again, our finance department does an excellent job on the recommendation of the proposed revenues. We try to be conservative, not too conservative. And they do a really good job of all the different areas that they get that information from and how they put that together. If we're good with that for now, we can always come back if you have questions later. Let's go to tab, put on my glasses and go to tab 6. And get into the spending of those revenues. Administration department. I won't read all of this out to you, but if you do have any particular questions, please let me know. Staffing level is proposed to maintain. On page 45, there is a 3% COLA recommended townwide, both general fund and water fund. Of course, we have no employees in the wastewater fund. We do have a decrease in our workers' comp, and that's reflective departmentally. We do have an upcoming election, and we have funding in there for that. And then we can continue with our community-sponsored events, which I think we've all recognized are very enjoyable and very popular. 4th of July, Christmas at Town Hall, the Ice Cream Social, Trash Attack, Right Lights Elimination, Community Appearance Commission, and actually one that's coming up that's not listed is Mary's Paws Park. That's another very popular one, and that's going to be the first week in June. I think it's June 6th, if I'm not mistaken. And that's a lot of fun as well. Or 2 and 4-leggeds. If you flip over to page 47, we have the line items. I'm happy to address any issues or questions that you might have with that. And I also, again, would like to commend Charlene and her team, which consisted, the main team consisted of Angel, Jennifer, and Sherry on the insurance. Did I leave anybody else? No. I know you had supplement help, but they were the core group. And believe it or not, last week we went through meeting with the healthcare folks, meeting individual employees, all employees, except for the ones that might have been out on vacation or whatever, with the insurance folks, as well as Mark III, our broker, who got everyone signed up. So we're ready to go.
Good deal.
And I really commend the hard work that they did putting all that together.
Do town benefits, is it on a fiscal year renewal base or a calendar year renewal base? It's kind of a wonky year this time with the change.
This is wonky,
Yeah.
but it will become on a fiscal year base.
Fiscal year.
Yes,
Oh, okay, that's different. Okay,
yes, but it's better for your,
budget.
I've got that right? Yeah. Healthcare, yes. It helps the more things that you can have on
Fiscal
the
schedule.
fiscal schedule, since that's, how we operate. And they being our group with our broker have negotiated any deductibles that have already been earned on the calendar year, but then we'll get it all back on the correct year.
Mhm.
So, lot of hard work by the team.
I know there was a lot of people involved with it, but Charlene had emails flying all over the place, and her dedication to getting this through and making sure there was no lapse is phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Congratulations on that.
And then in the middle of all of that, we had our wellness day, which it decided to rain, and hadn't rained for a period of time, but it decided on Wednesday that it needed to rain.
I
But-
came to the conclusion she doesn't sleep.
No, I don't think so. And she probably talks in her sleep, sending emails.
Yeah.
She does. Okay, you're ready to move to the next tab, which is 7, Buildings and Grounds, which is one of our divisions in admin. The staffing study did indicate the half a position, which kind of, it shows as a half, but you all recall how all that worked out from where we were sharing and so forth. And so that is in the budget. Then on the next page, we'll go through some of the highlights. We had the $75,000 for the shoreline and the recreation facility reserve, looking at replacing a John Deere cart, some improvements to Carlo access, Atlantic Street access, some parking improvements up at the new building in G building. We need to replace the gate down at the Public Works Complex. We have funds in here to convert the hockey rink at Aviation Park into a multi-purpose play court. This will give other users an opportunity to use that area. Pickleball, tennis, basketball. It can still be used as a hockey rink. Roller skating, yeah. But it's in need of some major work, and we just felt like it was a good time to make it more user-friendly for other groups.
I have a question about that.
Mhm.
I know the roller derby community still is pretty active. Do they host bouts in that rink at this time or not?
They have a couple of things coming up that they're working with the planning department on.
They just resubmitted their special event requests for the fall. They want to do a 2-day derby at the rink. And the improvements that we're looking at for the rink will include derby.
Just want to, it won't affect the ability of them to
That's
Oh,
my
yeah.
concern.
It's
yeah.
not, the derby will be part of that multipurpose rink.
Yeah, we're not trying to exclude, we're trying to
make sure they're just,
make
their needs
other-
are
make
taken
it
into
available for others,
consideration.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been there a long time,
Oh, yeah.
and you know, I agree what you're saying.
Yeah.
They need to be able to continue.
Oh, there was no intention
Yeah.
to not.
And
we've
it
been in-
actually would probably, what we're trying to come up with a concept plan, it will probably be a lot better for them. There'll be, the boards won't be there, so there'll be room for spectators to be able to see much easier for their events at multiple angles around the facility, rather than the boards being the 4.5 foot high boards. So it'll be a better surface for them, and it'll also be a lot more accessible for spectators.
How many pickleball courts can fit in there? Do we know?
We think 4.
Those are two very active communities in our town. So
And if we
Yeah.
put the street basketball court size courts in there, we can probably fit 2, and it'll be one of the only basketball courts on the beach. Dowdy Park has a half court.
Yeah.
This would be what we're looking at, would potentially be what they call a street ball court, which is smaller than a regular court, but it would be north to south on the
It's awesome.
turf.
Has there
Yeah.
been
Yeah,
discussion
really
with
good use
the
of
roller
space.
derby about the surface? Or what kind of surface changes, if any?
Well, we're still working on that. We're hoping to be using concrete rather than asphalt. And then it will have the surface paint for the derby in, different colors for different sports, but the derby will still be painted on there, and the concrete will be a much better surface. Right now, our asphalt is having some delamination, and there's chunks that are actually falling out of it.
There are pickleball courts real close over at the rec park area.
Yeah, the tennis court has them.
Yeah.
But I would say, just that I'm in that area a lot. And the only time that rink is used is at night by derby or hockey. You just don't see people there during the day.
And
So
the
it would make it,
the derby's pretty
Used.
established. So I
right.
think that
It would just utilize that space.
Right.
It's gonna look a lot different. So there won't be hockey, like the hockey walls won't be.
the concept that we've come up with so far, the hockey walls will be gone. You still will be able to play hockey, and there'll be hockey lines, but there won't be the boards. So it'll to bounce off of. But that way we can get a lot more in there.
Just as long as any kind of resurfacing or something like that doesn't prohibit, the roller skating.
It won't. We're very
That would be
conscious
my
of
biggest concern.
very conscious of their use.
Okie dokie. On page 52 and 53, we had the line items. Do you have any questions?
I wanted to back up to page 50. I have one more question there.
Sorry.
Under debt service for Public Works Complex, roughly how many years do we have left on that?
I don't think I have that here. I can look that up for you. I don't know offhand.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, it's staggered.
They are
They're
staggered.
staggered in the phases. So it would, you're going to start to see a gradual, because we didn't do all of that at once. I think there was it 3 or 4 phases?
It was 3. We paid off 1. We have 2
Okay,
left.
okay. So
So they'll
Yeah.
roll off. But I can get you the years on that.
All right. I like to know. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, if you're ready to move on to 52 and 53. If you're ready to go to tab 8, Finance and Tax Department. Page 55, we'll hit some highlights. As we've discussed a little earlier, the health insurance renewal rates, an average of 26.9% for our employees and a decrease for the retirees of 22.8%. Had a property and liability insurance increase of approximately 8%. Continuing to contract with Dare County for tax collections. And it includes the actual studies of the other post-employment benefit valuations required by Gatsby 75 and contributing to the OPEB Irrevocable Trust. And that's page 57. We'll give you the line items.
Question for tax collection fee. Do all Dare County municipalities partner with the county?
No, sir.
Okay.
Nags Head collects their own taxes.
Everybody else is partnership. It seems like a heck of a easier way to do it. To get it all, go through the county, and come to us. But
It's worked very well for us.
yeah,
And we would very much recommend that we continue to do that. If you're ready to move to tab 9, that will be your management systems, information system, IT department of 1. It includes the highlights. We're including the current manufactured contracts, license, and subscriptions for the townwide systems and software. And it also includes a $50,000 upgrade to the network equipment.
Debbie, thank you for meeting with me on Tuesday and going over this, because this is one of the questions. So Terry, you asked about some of my tabs and questions in here. There's a line item in here, office furniture and equipment is where that $50,000 went. Like, how much money are we spending on office furniture? So thank
one
you.
person.
Yeah, for one person. That was all marked up. So
No.
thank you for letting us know
No.
that is an equipment and infrastructure investment, not leisure. So go find some of our old green chairs from up here and let them have one of those. But thank you for helping me. That's the kind of thing, like I've read a bunch of these over the years, but there's so many questions that come out when you get in the weeds, and staff, and you've always been very helpful in kind of clarifying that for me.
Thank you. I wasn't going to mention that.
Yeah, this must be a nice chair. Is all I always say.
Along with the finance department is the fleet maintenance division, and that's on tab 10. The fuel prices per gallon are derived from an estimate of wholesale prices from the Energy Information Association and other wholesale suppliers, and are budgeted at $2.65 1 gallon for regular unleaded, $3.245 per gallon for diesel. And as you know from the past, the fuel charges are charged back to the departments based on the uses. We also share the fueling system with the EMS. As you recall, when we were looking at the new station being built, we were able to do that and not have to, for them to have an on-site fueling system there, which gave room to do other things that were needed. And we had the capability of them using our system. And that's worked out very well. Line items, page 65. If we're good with that, we can move to tab 11, which is planning and development. Highlights some chapter updates and recreation facility plan update. Line items on 69. Beach nourishment would be your tab 12. As you recall, at the last meeting, we did that new 25,000 ordinance to get started on the upcoming renourishment.
127.
And as Angel stated, we are recommending the revenue neutral rate for the MSD. Commend Meredith for her work with the beach nourishment. She's been at it since day one. I still have her text with a picture of the sand being pumped on the first
2017, yeah.
the first day.
Sat out there for about 3.5 hours waiting on that first thing.
And then I think she might have had a cold beverage. Truly, you've done an outstanding job heading this up. And I also kudos to Ken Wilson and his team. Our engineers have been awesome. And we've had good contractors. Both have done well, knock on wood, yeah. And then we can move into the next tab. Police Department, Ronald, I think that's 13. We have the mandatory funding of the law enforcement separation allowance for 3 retired police officers. And we also are including training for specific incidences, maintenance of current certificates, and required career development. Looking at capital outlay for 5 police vehicles.
That'd be a quick question. For our police vehicles, are these purchases or leases?
This is lease purchasing.
Lease purchase.
This is the total, but you'll see it broken down by the line item as lease purchases.
Okay.
We do buy on state contract. Sometimes what you get is what they have. And then, of course, those vehicles are then the additions of the equipment that's necessary for them to be police vehicles are added.
Chief, a quick question for you. On average, how many miles per year do we put on a police vehicle in town?
It depends on whether it's patrol officers or admin. Admin obviously puts less, but we're probably averaging 25, 30,000.
Okay, that's a lot.
That doesn't change the time. It's just in the idles and storms and everything, so the engine gets a lot more miles on it. Actually shows on the odometer too.
Gotcha.
That's true.
How much input do you all have on a sedan versus SUV choice? Do you get to kind of pick what the town needs, or is it something the state only has certain things available and you got to work with what they got?
State only has certain things available, but we found when we first started with the Tahoes 6, 7 years ago. We found we could get those cheaper than we could the Explorers. And the sale back, after we put them on Gov Deals, we were getting, twice the amount for a Tahoe back than we were for Explorers. Now, since then, the price has gone up on everything, but it's about the same for Tahoe. Ford quit making the Crown Victoria sedan, which was the ultimate police vehicle. And then we went to Dodge Chargers, and they were just lemons. They stayed in the shop all the time. Then we went to the Ford Explorers, and now we're in the Tahoes. But, we lease by those, and, at the end of their, lifespan with us, we put them on Gov Deals and get $10,000 to $15,000, $16,000 for them, after we surplus them.
I would
And that is if they're not needed in another department before they're surplused.
I would think the Tahoes perform a lot better than the Explorers too.
They do, and they got their big,
Sorry,
they
kid.
have more room to.
Oh, yeah. No transmission problems on those.
No, there's some engine problems.
That's what I thought.
Transmission.
Yeah.
But most of them, and that's, they're covered under warranty for the most part.
Okay.
And our maintenance shop does a tremendous job on the road.
Great.
But just shout out to the fleet maintenance. They do an excellent job of keeping them on the road. But as we were talking, Mayor, they keep a good history record of these vehicles, so that the situation with the Dodges, it didn't take a history lesson. Everybody knew. But, like if you do have a vehicle that for whatever reason, it's not the miles, but there's just something about that vehicle that is staying more in the shop than it's out. That one, they may be looking to get rid of that one a little bit sooner than if you got one that its history is really good, and thinking that maybe we would want to keep that one a little bit longer. So there's a lot of cooperation between the department that's making the request and fleet maintenance, and their request getting to us.
Great. Thank you. I think the Ford Motor Company is going to really enjoy our meeting tonight. But all right.
Truth.
Yeah.
Any other questions concerning police? If not, we can go to animal control. This is one of those mighty little departments. Do a lot of work and do it very well.
Animal control, they currently have 2 trucks, correct?
Yes.
2 trucks, okay.
2.
What's the status of those 2? Does anybody know, Chief? Do you know?
Status of the truck.
Yeah. How old are they? How many miles?
We have one coming up on rotation next year. And when it's replacing, we're having some, they say, kind of a lemon tube. It's break, it keeps cutting off on the officer and all that, but he's able to make it through. But we have rotation one coming up 2027, and then another one 2 years after that.
Okay.
And so they're 2017.
Well, they look awful good riding down the road. So,
But
I'm
they,
glad.
my officers, they keep them clean. They wash them all the time. They take pride in their vehicles that they drive. So yes, sir, they do try to keep them
Yeah.
clean, sir.
Okay, if we're ready, we flip over to fire department. That's going to be tab 15, I think. Okay. I will point out the fire department as well as the police department. As you recall from the pay study, Mr. Hill did recommend that we continue to monitor both of these departments as our population and businesses and so forth are growing, and we will continue to do that. And maybe reviewing some of our protocols just to see if there's some ways we can make things work a little bit better for the staff. But the budget for both departments does follow the pay study recommendation. And this does have, we are requesting a capital outlay for a heavy-duty pickup truck. And Chief, I'm going to need some help on which one that replaces.
Our utility.
Right,
pickup truck.
right.
We're having some mechanical problems with it. Can't tell you the exact problem, it's just a recurring thing, that we just keep doing in the shop,
And you don't really,
downtime, we'll get work accomplished, so.
because there's not a backup.
doesn't-
That is the vehicle for that, right?
We went out with hydrant inspections, building inspections, it does a lot of
Yeah.
different things. Transporting people, tools, equipment, hose, stuff like that.
But you need that size because of all of that,
It's a heavy
because of,
duty.
yeah, for the heavy weight and everything, yeah.
Before you move further, I got a study or a report from the Outer Banks Fire Response analysis. It's from the Outer Banks Professional Firefighters. Have you seen that, Chief?
Yes, sir.
It's over my head, to be honest with you, as far as what it's recommending. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to maybe have you and the fire chief and myself get together and look at this and let y'all tell me what exactly it says.
Okay.
It's
That-
indicating that we need some additional people, and I know I've brought it up a couple of times that I'm worried from the fire department standpoint that our volunteers are lessening, and we need to be aware of that and have some concern as to how much it's putting on our firefighters. So I'd like for you and the chief and I to sit down and meet with that, and then you come back to the board with a report on what this actually says.
Okay.
Is that fine?
That's fine. It's my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, but Mr. Hill had that report.
I don't know.
No,
Yeah,
That was-
I don't know that.
we discussed all of that with him when he made his recommendation, and that's what I've made my recommendation on. But I mean, I'm happy to sit down with you.
Yeah, I'd like to
Okay.
do that. And then let Debbie come back and say any good information that might be out in this report. Is that good with you, Chief?
Absolutely, Commissioner.
Okay.
Okay, then on page 86, we have our line items. Okay, no questions there. Division of Ocean Rescue, which is a part of our fire department. Page 90 has the line items. Ocean Rescue, Dave and his assistant Ben have done an excellent job in not only maintaining some of our guards that come back year after year after year, but they've also, we have more and more of our guards that are EMT certified. So that are actually out on the stand with that certificate, which gives it even more time if there's an incident, whether it's a water incident or just somebody on the beach having an issue before the others can appear. So, kudos to them for working on that. And we do compensate those guards at a higher level for that certification. Okay, our next tab, streets, tab 17, Ronald. This budget includes $100,400 for additional mowing, edging, and sweeping of US 58. We have the street project for East and West First Street. And it includes 3 Ford F-250 pickup replacements. At an upcoming meeting, we'll be coming to you with the recommendation from Commissioner McAvoy's and his committee on the upcoming project that we just took the bids for the Martin Swan and the sidewalk that Meredith applied for, and we were able to get the Visitors Bureau grant. That's going to be a nice project.
That should be nice.
Yeah.
That'd be real nice. Good
Yeah.
job on that work too.
Yes.
Getting sidewalks back in neighborhoods, making it more safe for kids to get to school.
Yeah. That increases safety in that area a lot.
Yes. And I think there's some kind of student housing back in that area. Isn't there, Meredith? Wasn't that one of the things that you used in your grant?
The going down Martin Street for
Mhm.
the sidewalk, there's several J1 housing. There's a big complex, and then there's 2 houses that are owned, I believe, now by Food Lion that are for J1 that solely rely on walking or riding their bicycle.
Right.
And then we'll have the multifamily cottage court that is, or it's a cottage court that has the long-term restriction on it that will be on right at the mouth of the sidewalk. So it is a very busy area, and the Martin Street sidewalk will then connect from the Martin Street beach access all the way down to 9th Avenue. And will also connect, Swan Street will connect to our path that's on Baum. And it will have, now we actually added another section on the south side of Baum Street so that the crossing will be at 6th Avenue for the sidewalks for going to school and the rec park and the library and all of that, rather than having that section pedestrian crossing, so.
It's going to be nice. Thank you. All right, then PAL bill, the next tab. This has the capital outlay of the $280,000 for future street projects. As Angel had indicated in her revenue reviews, we are looking for a little bit of an increase. Continuing on to the next tab, 19 for solid waste. Tipping fees, an estimated 10,134 tons at $100.04 a ton, which includes a monthly fuel surcharge and an estimated 924 tons of C&D at $73.16 a ton. Looking at replacing 2 Volvo commercial trucks and 1 pickup and 2 roll-off containers, including 2 roll-off containers. 103 has your line items. And that concludes the general fund. Any other questions? Shall we move to the water fund? Tab 20. 1. And then we'll flip on to Ron, if you would. Get us to 24. Administration in the Water Division. As stated earlier, the 3% COLA is also reflected in the water fund. The same decrease in the workers' comp, the same with the liability and insurance. Something that I don't know that I have made the board aware. I think I did. I think I sent you an email, copy of an email from Marcia. She came in on a Monday morning to find out that the company that does our water billing had closed its doors. And we were in the process of getting ready to send out that next quarter's water bills, or having them send it out. They had the information. By Wednesday, which I think was when I sent you the email to let you know the problem, but to also let you know that Marcia had a solution. And it's gone seamlessly. So thank you very much. That's the way we like.
Nobody gives you time, right?
Excuse me?
Nobody gives you any time
Well,
on this
that's
stuff,
the way,
right?
that's the way we like to tell you about our problems, is that somebody on your staff has solved them. And you've got good problem solvers on your staff. You're prepared to move the next tab, 25, that's your water plant. The wholesale water rate, which is what we pay to Dare County, is $2.10.9 per 1,000 gallons. And we have a capital outlay to begin looking at the renovations of the 8th Street building. As I told the mayor when we were talking about it, that building was old when I came to work here, so you can do the math. It needs help. So obviously the majority of this budget is the treated water, which is what our plant does. Water systems, next division on tab 26. Includes funding for miscellaneous water line improvements. The water line improvements associated with the street improvement project that we discussed. System building replacement and maintenance yard improvements. Vehicles, backhoe, excavator, ditch witch. Typically, Mayor, you were asking about leasing. Typically in our water fund, we pay for the vehicles. We don't lease them. And then the wastewater fund, which would be the last division of this. As you all know, for a number of years now, we contract this out, so there's no employees. The history behind that, for anyone that doesn't know, was we had in order for the town to operate the system, you have to have two operators. It's a small system, and having two operators and then having an operator at the level, the grade that we had to, was very expensive. When that operator retired and we were able to contract it out, it was quite a savings. And then from there, of course, we've since are hooked up to the other system. But you still have to have operators. And Steve and Derek keep a close eye on it as well. I also think it's important to note and to thank the board for maintaining the recommendation in the water system master plan. It's what enables us to do these improvements, such as the new water tank when it's necessary and needed, and going in with these street projects and replacing these water lines and stuff all makes so much more sense. And doing it as one job, I think we get better value. I mean, we don't disturb the neighborhood, hopefully, but once.
And the only thing we have to figure out is when Steve gets in the ditch and starts digging them out, if we could get him to have two shovels, one in each hand.
He probably
I'll never
would if he
forget
could
that.
figure it out.
It's not many times you pull up to a project and you see the department head down in the ditch with a shovel digging.
I think that comes from his duck hunting,
Could be.
Sweep.
Could be.
Any questions for either the general fund or the water fund that we haven't addressed, or anything else you'd like to discuss about it?
The only thing I like, under what you had, under 31, where you had the vehicle, demonstration of, replacement, that was a pretty handy chart.
Yes,
I like that.
yes.
Tells you when you're gonna replace them and the condition and all that. Very nice.
But still, as we were talking about before, but still using that wiggle room, and some judgment on if they got to go sooner, if you got a
Sure.
lemon.
The one thing that we did discuss, and I've talked to a couple board members about, is, I concur with Commissioner Gray. It's nice to see this, inventory of vehicles we purchased and a plan in the future. But if we do have opportunities in some departments who may not need four-wheel drive pickup trucks, can have a combination of smaller, more economical vehicles to help us save on gas, have a less of a carbon footprint. We can explore those options.
Absolutely.
I mean, we got a lot of awesome four-wheel drives, and they're cool. But if a few departments could have a combination of, something smaller, more compact, more efficient, but still have the big equipment
For
available.
when it's needed. Yes.
I think that's a good way to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, your public hearing is set for the 9th. If the board's comfortable that evening, you can certainly adopt the budget. If not, then we could have the second meeting in June. We'll see. We'll be prepared for you to do it if you'd like. But we're also prepared for the second meeting in June if that's what you prefer.
Very
Thank you
good.
all.
Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions budget related before we move on to the next item? Now is our second time for public comments. Seeing and hearing no takers. Nothing to respond to, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Good job.
That was sloppy.